The Economic Community of West African States has condemned xenophobic attack against the foreigner in South Africa in a strong term. The current chairman of ECOWAS, Ghanaian President John Mahama, who spoke with journalists after a closed-door meeting with Nigerian President-elect Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja, said the entire West African community condemned the barbaric act of young South Africans.
I think that the young people of South Africa do not know what happened before they gained their freedom. The whole of this continent stood behind South Africa. The whole of Africa stood behind South Africa to fight against apartheid. I remember all of us growing up as secondary school children, went on marches, were part of the African Youth Command, we demonstrated, we boycotted classes and all that, all in the fight against apartheid. Indeed, for several of the countries where their citizens have been brutalized in South Africa, these are countries that were called frontline states that harbored the freedom fighters, of South Africa and gave them safe haven, gave them passports, to be able to avoid the clutches of the apartheid regime. And even Nigeria, even though not a neighbor of South Africa, was considered a frontline state because of the economic contribution that Nigeria did to the ANC to be able to liberate South Africa from apartheid.
Meanwhile, President Alassane Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire has saluted President Goodluck Jonathan for conceding defeat and congratulating Muhammadu Buhari, saying he has set an example for other African leaders. Cote d'Ivoire President gave the commendation while speaking with journalists after a closed-door meeting with the President-elect in Abuja. Ivorian President said by conceding defeat, Jonathan has saved the most populous black nation from war.
I've come to Nigeria to congratulate my brother, President Buhari, President-elect, for his election, brilliant election, and to let him know that what the process of this election is gives a great pride to all of us as West Africans and Africans. The peaceful way the election ended with alternance is a lesson for all African countries. You will recall that in my own country, in Cote d'Ivoire, in 2010, when we had the presidential election, although I got elected, the former president did not want to leave office, and this led to a civil war with 3,000 people, 3,000 deaths.
In Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
A civil rights organization under the auspices of One Africa Initiative has threatened to attack South African investments in Nigeria and its embassy in Abuja if the xenophobia attacks on migrants and migrant workers continues, making their position known during a protest march in Abuja to South African-owned business and their embassy. According to Paul Ede, Ahmed Issa and Phil Rabat, who spoke on behalf of the group, said Nigeria contributed its resources to the actualization of freedom the South Africans are enjoying at the moment.
On Africans, and together we will conquer. It is certainly no longer breaking news that Nigerians in South Africa and other Africans have been a subject of xenophobic attacks in South Africa. This sad occurrence has been happening right before South African security operatives, and in some cases with their assistance.
Let people in South Africa know that we in Nigeria were not happy with what is happening. So they should stop it. They should stop it and let our people live.
South African High Commissioner in Nigeria, Ambassador Lulu Mungu, while addressing the crowd, said his country is doing everything possible to stop the attacks on foreigners in the country.
South Africa. But all the same, we would like to say your concerns, your pain is our own pain. We have time-tested relations with Nigerians. Yes, of course, a lot of problems are happening on the ground. But we say beyond this, let us remain friends. We are one people. Thank you.
It is very, very painful for you to see human being with their life. You catch them, tie in hand and in leg with chains, put them tire, put them fuel, put them matches. At least let's imagine say the person they born, it never occur to you say they feel something. That moment when the person they try run, they try leave that fire. At least suppose strike your conscience that this person is feeling something somewhere. The last thing I hear is supposed to be heaven on earth, not hell on earth.
MTN, DSTV, and Human Rights also condemned the attack and advocated equality and freedom for all Africans living in South Africa.
This has been condemned by MultiChoice Africa Management and MultiChoice Nigeria as an organization here residents in Nigeria. It's not something that we are in support. A public appeal has equally been made.
We are not happy, and that is why we have to pass the message through the MTN to tell the world that what they are doing to our people, we are not happy. And we don't want to take a legal action about it. So they should take this message to them.
As far as I'm concerned, this is terrorism. The South African people should know that we're all watching them and we're not happy with what they're doing. The killing is too much. It must be stopped. We can do and undo too, but we are not ready to do that.
The group also demanded that the victims of xenophobia attacks in the country should be paid full compensation while their status remain. From Abuja, LM Chukwamaka report for Ben TV.
The 2015 general elections have come and gone in most states of the Federation, except for Imo, Abia, and Taraba states. But one group which have not received accolades as much as it would have been expected is the National Union of Road Transport Workers, who played a role of transporting electoral materials from one place to the other during the election nationwide. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Ben Television in his office in Abuja, the national president of the union, Najim Yassin, said that early preparation and determination was part of what led to the huge successes recorded on the part of the union, and the cooperation it received from the police and INEC also played a major role in the success recorded during the elections.
Before the election, we pay a visit to the Inspector General of Police and promise him that we are going to, we promise to contribute our quota to have free and fair election. And after that, we have a meeting, we have an MOU with the INEC chairman, that is Professor Jiga. We have an MOU to transport the electoral materials across the 36 states, including Abuja. And we thank God that we'll be able to carry out that assignment successful, and which is part of what make the election to be free and fair.
On the camp conduct of the union members during the election, the national president said it was due to massive sensitization which paid off, also adding that to make sure that the union members are well educated, a study center of the National Open University of Nigeria is within the premises of the union headquarters, which the union is giving support in every area to make sure that their members attend courses from this university.
Before we came on board, there are a lot of complaints against union in involvement in the electoral election process. But since we came on board, we have been having a series of meetings, sensitizing our members, call them that they should regard themselves as a professional. Driving to is a profession, so they should not allow themselves to be used in election thuggery or whatever. And they have answered to the call, because this immediately past election, there is no any state that was recorded that NURTW members was involved in any violence or whatever. So that shows that they have yielded to the sensitization, the call, and whatever.
On the alleged disappointment by the union in transportation of electoral material during the presidential election, Alhaji Yasin said that it was just the FCT that had this failure, and it was mainly because of disappointment and change of plans from the resident electoral commissioner in the FCT.
It is not true, because it is only FCT here out of the 36 states. It is only FCT that we experience such a problem. It is from lapses, some lapses from the FCT red commissioners. Instead of having the numbers of vehicles to go around at the same time, they just took half of those vehicles that they demanded before. So there must be lapses around that area.
He therefore advised the public to see the union members as members of the society and treat them with respect, urging that the new face of the union is very civilized. In Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television.
Life without the basic amenities such as potable water, access to healthcare, access to education, and electricity can be a challenge for so many people. But for the people of Kwalita community in Gwagwalada Area Council of the FCT, this has become their lot for so many years.
Kwalita community, a local settlement in Gwagwalada Area Council of the FCT with about 500 inhabitants who are predominantly farmers, cattle rearers, traders, and craftsmen, is about 1 hour 30 minutes drive away from their closest source of civilization, which is the university town of Gwagwalada. Though close to the FCT, Kwalita community cannot boast of government impact, as their only source of water is this stream, which they share with livestock and herdsmen.
We say this is my village, and the water we used to take here is not proper the way we're supposed to take water. And we are here, it's just like, I would just say, the area council doesn't know us, but they know us. We used to vote, we used to do everything, and the water that we used to take is not on the way. We used to take the water and we seek our children. When it is raining time, you will see that our children used to die here, no hospital. There's nothing here. We're just here. I see some strangers, they are here with us, so I will say my view out so that if any one of them can help us, then we thank God.
You are speaking well. This is where you were born and where you grew up?
This is where I born and I grew up in this town.
So how come you can speak English well?
I'm speaking English. I went out, I go some other state, I go to school. That is why I came back to my village. I'm staying here with them now. We didn't have school here. We didn't have school. It's only primary school that we have. But the primary school, at times when it is time, when it's the rainy time, you will see that the road is rough. The teacher, used to come regularly and stay with and teach our children. But hence, they keep the primary school. They used to manage, they used to come at times.
Soko has however come their way in the area of access to potable water, as Green World Matters, a non-governmental organization, brought back-to-free water filter to help them purify their water before consumption and thereby making it safe for drinking. Speaking in Kwalita community during the presentation of these devices, the representative of Green World Matters, Ms. Ladi Farouk, said that this kind gesture was as a result of a media report on television, which made the organization resolve to be of help to the community.
When our chairman saw the clip on Channels TV and the difficulty that is being encountered in this village regarding water, he promised we must come. This clip ran in January and we have been trying to come here since then. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to, and clean, and we're very happy with it. Free water filter is technology. It is the ceramic technology that purifies the water, and that is why we're here today.
The chairman of the Gwagwalada Area Council, Honorable Abubakar Giri, who was represented by the Supervisory Councillor on Education, Honorable Isha Kaura, and the FCT Director of National Orientation Agency, Moses Abbas, in their separate remarks, said although it won't be right to say that there is no presence of government in the community, he noted that the effort by the Green World Matters will go a long way in making sure that any water source they get here is safe for drinking.
This is an innovation so enormous because it has direct bearing on health issues. We provide the water in the first place, and at times the source of the water, the handling of the water, at times the storage too can be a problem, can bring in health challenges. But by the provision of these devices now, because I can now see two things there: provision of water or its availability, and its consumability, that is its health condition. The lifespan for these devices will not exceed 10 months or thereabout. So how can we get renewals or replacement for this? And we are into discussion as a government. We are going to go into serious partnership as to how we can get a supply to keep regular or unbroken chain of usage of this device as far as health sustenance is concerned from the water supply.
Government presence is also here. There are certain amenities that have been brought here by either government or non-governmental organization, and this is one of them today you are seeing.
They therefore call on well-meaning Nigerians to be of help to this community so that they will not be totally cut away from civilization. High point was the handing over of the devices to the community head for onward distribution to the villagers.
This is the source of water for the people of Kualita community and its environs. This is where they get water for their domestic needs. The funny thing about it is that they also share this stream with livestock that come here to drink with herdsmen. Though a temporary solution has been given to these people, but getting a borehole and attention from the Federal Capital Development Authority will actually make these people laugh in the long run. From Kualita community, in Gwagwalada Area Council of Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television.
The reality of the financial crunch has finally hit Nigeria as the Federal Account Allocation Committee distributed the sum of 435.061 billion naira for the month of March. The amount distributed indicates a drop of 86.991 billion naira compared to 522.052 distributed for the month of February. A breakdown showed that statutory distributed revenue was 314.516 billion naira, while value added tax was 71.197 billion naira. Also shared is an additional 9.490 billion naira from NNPC. The Minister of State for Finance, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, who spoke to journalists after the FAC meeting, said that the reduction in distributable amount for the month was occasioned partly due to the continued shutdown and shut-in of various trunks and pipelines at various terminals continue to impact negatively on crude oil revenue. He noted that an increase in non-oil revenue dipped further in March, partly due to the fact that the time frame for companies to file their returns has not fallen due.